Mike, we made it. Another week in paradise. Well, you were in paradise.
Yeah. You're in paradise. Don't give me that.
Listen. I seriously think we have a going competition of like whose beach is better. In my head, I'm having this own competition. Like, oh, it's like Mike's posted his beach. I want to post my beach. So
I saw that.
It's nice, right? Dude, I can't wait for you to come here and seriously experience this place. For as much as you love the beach, you would love it here. $300 round trip flights, bud. Well,
what?
From Boston. Yeah. From Boston.
Well, I told you we're going to Miami at the end of August. $47 round trip on American Airlines.
Serious?
Out of Charlotte.
What?
Nonstop.
47?
My upgrades cost more than a ticket.
No. Oh, that's crazy. Wow. Flights are going to be cheap for a while. The way I see it is like, I think this is an opportunity for like, with prices reducing, more people will travel, but yet there's this whole fear factor, right? There's this whole fear factor of like, are people really going to get out there? What do you think? Do you think people are going to like still travel when these doors open up? I know like Europe's still blocking a lot of Americans, but what do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is here's my take.
Okay.
COVID is real. I get that.
Yeah.
But I also know that you can't live your life in fear.
Right.
If you live your life in fear, you're going to miss your entire life. Can you be cautious? Yes, but I wouldn't be scared to climb on a plane today.
Right.
I mean,
hey,
you just can't live like that.
That's so true. But the way I look at the world recently, in regards since COVID, right? So after COVID, AC, is I feel like we're in a cleaner world. Like, I'm literally seeing like people disinfect with squirt spray or whatever they got going on more than ever before. Like, insane. Bathrooms are being cleaned more than ever. Things are being wiped down. Airplanes are being disinfected and cleaned more than they ever have been. Come on. I mean,
cleaner than ever.
Cleaner than ever. Yeah. I mean, it's just like everything. Surfaces. You go to the bank. Now, listen, I have to go to the bank while I'm here. It's unfortunate. I'm still working on that. But they like literally every time someone goes to the teller, like they squirt it down and they wipe it down. They got someone cleaning on staff. It's like, by the way, it's the only time I go to the bank now. It's like once a month. It's horrible. I'm still trying to work that out.
I love going to my bank.
No way.
It's so nice.
Oh
it's
my gosh. Why?
I told my wife the other day, I said, I miss my ladies at the bank.
Oh man. Why? Oh, that's crazy.
But now to kind of preface that is I have like it's not a huge, but it's not like Bank of America or Wells Fargo.
Oh.
I'm more than a number.
Okay.
Is a pet peeve of mine.
You're more than a number. You're a name.
Yeah, I'm a name. I mean, if you're going to use my money and give me no interest, at least,
right? Oh my God, dude, I find it so interesting right now. I think, like, going back to what you said, I'm actually glad you're actually. Well, by the way, why are you going to Miami? What's in Miami? You're just going for fun? Another beach?
$47 round trip, staying at the Hilton Cabana Inn, Oceanfront, for less than $700 for the week.
For the week? Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, why not go?
Why not go is right.
I mean, we were looking at some places to go, and I want to go to Vegas, but I don't want to go yet till it's opened back up.
Yeah.
And we was like, neither one of us has ever been to Miami Beach.
Okay. Like the Miami Beach, right?
Yeah, like we've been there to get on cruise or whatever she has, but to actually be on the beach, and it was a chance. I need some Hilton reward points. It's been a while since I stayed in a Hilton. I need to keep building my points before I lose them.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just around. We just started looking around, and it's like why not? It's cheap.
That's so true. Wow, that's insanely cheap. Like for a week. So now, when is this happening, by the way? So we all can plan our lives.
So you'd all come to my house and break in and steal everything.
Oh, no.
It's the end of August.
End of August. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, end of August, first couple days in September.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's so great. And again, you're back on the beach. You're going to have to post some videos of that. That's going to be fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I've never been to Miami Beach. Like, never. Like,
I've never been to the beach. I never have. That's why I want to go. Well, I'll be down there during a Monday, so I'll do the show from there.
Oh, there you go. Oh my gosh, that's going to be exclusive right there. The topic today of, why is now the best time to get in? A lot of people are like, should I get in? That whole on the fence thing. Just want to give a shout out to some of the people that are watching and waving. So, hey to Sarah and Ryan and, I just missed the other one. I'm sorry. Where's the other one? Oh, and Peter, good to have you here. No, I don't want to watch it on my TV. Just want to give a shout out to everybody that's watching. By the way, if you guys want to say hello, post it in the comments. And if you have any questions, let us know either during or after the show. I want to make that clear, by the way. I think it's kind of interesting. Sometimes after our shows, I get emails and it's like, oh, you could have asked that while we're on the show. But it's like, oh, after the show was over. Anyway, so let's kind of transition into, about being on the fence and why now is a good time to invest, because we're seeing a market, right? We're seeing a real estate market where there's just like, it's continuing to tick up, right? Which, do you find that kind of interesting how the real estate market is like still ticking up? It's still strong. And yet we got a lot of issues with like rents, on the verge of like teetering here, where like people might not be able to pay their rents, and then we got some recent foreclosure numbers coming up. What's your take on that because of COVID?
Well, it's unique, and I actually while I was at the beach this past week or weeks, I ran into.
I'm sorry, I like how you said that. Well, I was at the beach weeks.
So I ran into this couple. She's a realtor. Her husband, they flip houses together.
Oh, okay.
That's what they do. They flip real estate, and
nice.
She was very interested in land, and
nice.
But she was talking about. She said, in the traditional real estate and the investing world, in everything, we just can't understand why everything is so great. It's weird.
Yeah.
But stuff is, it is a good time. A lot of people, I've talked to some people that either been out of work or a little bit slower their work pace. And a couple of them has actually said, hey, Mike, I'm kind of reading a little bit more in real estate, learn a little bit more in real estate because I got the time to do it.
Yeah.
And I thought, and my thing is, hey, look, if you got the time, use it wisely right now.
So true.
Get into it. And when your regular job starts back, you'll be ahead of the game where you may not have to spend as much time studying and learning the ropes part of it, that your business can start kind of funding itself. So,
yeah.
That's some good things about it. And plus, we've talked about, I know you put it out there, people that's been in it a while, if you've not took advantage of some of the government assistance in the small business stuff, you got to do it. You don't have anything to lose.
Oh, yeah. I've been actually harping on this quite a bit because, it's I've gotten two sides, which is very interesting. I was on a phone call, excuse me. I was on a phone call with a guy and we were talking about the next stimulus package. He's like, oh, I saw your video on, I've been watching your videos on the stimulus packages. He's like, but why are you talking about that? Aren't you like, he was kind of like coming from a position of, well, we have money and do we need to get more money? And I was like, no, listen. There are people out there that need money regardless. I know people, that have lost their job because of COVID, right? And maybe they're in this interim. But listen, even if you're set for a year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is, the reality is that there is money available to every citizen. I even asked this same gentleman, I said, did you get an automatic deposit for your stimulus? He's like, no, I got a check in the mail. I was like, well, there you go. Like, so why are you going against it or complaining? Like, if you don't want the money, then I'm sure you can find a way to bless someone else with it. But
Absolutely.
so I'm speaking to like two crowds. If you have the funds and you're okay, that's fine. A lot of people thought, for example, I know there's some people who were surprised. They didn't expect it. This COVID came out of nowhere, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Business has highs and it has lows. Sometimes people need the funds, and sometimes people are doing really well and they don't need it. That's okay too. Bless someone else. But the reality is there is a lot of people who expected COVID to be over by now and said, I'll be okay. Well, guess what? We're on stimulus package number 2. What most people thought was stimulus package only number 1 would only be 1. Remember back in the day? Do you remember George Bush where he's like, everybody go shopping? Do you remember that check, Mike? Yeah. That was like a one-time infusion. This is different this time. This is not a go shopping check. I remember that. I think it got like $700 back in the day. It was like, however many years ago. This is different. This is where people governments are infusing the economy with digital currency, cash, or, digits in bank accounts. And they are literally doing that because there's a lot of people who need the funds right now. It's that simple. I'm sure you probably know maybe a few people who have had this has had a direct impact on their life.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things. You may not need the money right now, but what if you get down the road and you've got a project that needs funding? Wouldn't you like to be able to use your own funding versus having to go out and pay 10, 12, 11, 13% for funding?
That's
things like that. I mean, it may not be an immediate thing right now, but it may be something down the road, or it may be an opportunity for you to help somebody by, I'm going to scale my business, but I need help. Let me bring on somebody part-time to benefit them a little bit. But
give them a job. Give them a job, right? So many people are losing jobs right now. Why not get some stimulus money and hire a person in your business to help you run your own business? And you know what? You bring up a great point, because right now there's like 5 different programs that people can tap into. And one of them, you can actually get funds. A friend of mine got, I think it was a PPP program, if I recall correctly. Anyway, he got up to about $100,000. Excuse me, no. It was the SBA loan. It was an SBA loan. And he has to make, I think the payment is $200 a month after 1 year. Means 1 year, no payments, no interest. Then after that, it's $200 a month with the balance. Now that's $100,000 loan. That's like free, that's cheaper than private money. like if
you can lend that money out.
Exactly. You could lend it out. Go ahead. What?
And make more money on it.
Exactly. You could lend it out. You could buy property, turn around and flip it. You could, oh my gosh, there's so much you can do with that I think a lot of people are like, oh, no, forget about it. And the reality is, I like the part you said earlier, because it's inevitable that this is not going to go away as quickly as people think. This is going to be around for the rest of the year. And even if a cure is found in September or October, it's still going to take time for the economy to come back. It's still going to take time. It's not like everybody just runs out there. Fear has a much more powerful impact on people than pleasure, right? There's a few that are motivated by pleasure, but the majority of people are motivated by fear. They make their decisions based on fear. So when things turn open and guess what? It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time for things to come back. They're going to need a lot of $47 round trips, you know what I mean? to a lot of destinations,
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Exactly. That's the truth of it. I've never seen prices so low here, by the way. Round trip, it's the lowest it's ever been. $147 round trip from Boston to here. It's the cheapest I've ever seen it.
Ow.
That's crazy.
Like I need to buy my tickets and just keep them.
Oh, I know, right?
Have 'em.
I know, right? It's like buying at the cheapest time. Oh my goodness, it's really good. And you know, a lot of airline carriers. I was reading in an article probably like last week sometime, where they're putting no middle seats. Right? There's no one allowed to sit in the middle seat. What a better time to fly, you know?
American is not one of those, by the way.
Oh no! Really?
No, they'll pack them in.
Oh,
I see both sides of the argument.
Okay.
I see the airlines trying to make as much as they can. I mean, if you're only making $50 a ticket, I'm gonna pack in as much people I can to at least pay for the jet fuel.
That's so true. That's true. I understand.
But your favorite airline, Delta, has committed to leaving that middle seat.
Oh man, it's so true. I'm so committed to Delta because I get their news updates and I was like, oh wow, that's cool. That's probably where the majority of my mind is coming from. So other than that, they're packing them. Yeah, I mean, I could understand that too for fuel costs. You know, it's like how are they going to do it? You know. Yeah. Meanwhile, all my stock in Delta just goes like this.
It's spiraled. Yeah. Will you have a property manager or a property management company do that, or will you do it?
That's a great point. Yeah, no, definitely a property manager, not just for my sanity. And you know me, I mean, I'm going to be traveling, so it just doesn't work out. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to have a property manager, and they take about 12% of
best 12% you'll ever pay.
Exactly.
Right?
And I know most people are probably thinking like, whoa, that's expensive. 8%, 6%, you know. But listen, it's a little more than that. If you were like, I'm not getting the tenants, right? So if there is a vacancy, if there's a phone call, if something breaks, whatever, I'm not going to get that stuff. If something was to break, I don't have to go out and get the parts, all that kind of stuff, and I don't get the tenants, and there's no like extra fee. It's only that 12% on the top, right? That's it. It's not like if what do you call it? If the property manager, if property goes vacant, if one of the apartments goes vacant, they get a portion of the new rent. No. Like they get the extra fee. No. It's 12% across the board. And so if it's empty, it's on them, right? If it's empty, it's on them.
That's an incentive for them to fill that.
Yeah, exactly. Some people do it differently. They'll say, oh, we do 8% and then we collect the first month's rent and stuff like that. I don't do that with here on the island because of my business partner. And that's that. Actually, interesting enough though, Mike, my tenant, the one for the senior home. By the way, have you seen this before? I can't remember if I took you one of these. Did I end up showing? Oh, did I end up showing you one of these?
I don't think so.
So
no,
no.
Yeah. Maybe you emailed it to me.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah. So my tenant is he's actually the one who does the property management company, and this is a horrible display. What I'm trying to show on the camera, but this is like a model. It's a brochure.
Oh, yeah.
Of like what's involved and everything. So we have this is the Tower Project, brochure, and
right.
So he would actually be the property manager. Well, his company would be the property manager for that 11 unit. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, man, and I think again, just to summarize that story, not only is it news, but to summarize that is like not to be afraid of, during this time. I was a little nervous before. I was like, okay, when, right? And I kept thinking, when am I gonna, get started, cranked up here again? And basically for me, it just came down to, as long as I have my mask, it's not gonna stop me from either seeing properties or making offers digitally, right? So, of course, I have to walk this property because it is local, and I do walk any apartment stuff that I do. But at the end of the day, when you're buying remotely or, from anywhere in the world, I mean, you just keep going. You've probably experienced the same thing. Your business, I don't think your business stopped. You just been picking up even more.
It has in different areas too. I mean, I'll give you a quick story. Yesterday, a really good friend of mine is looking at buying a new house and everything, or buying another house. because the market is good. He doesn't know anything on his. So I took him to see a house. And it's a good house, full brick house, good bones about it. Sits across the street from the lake. It sits on the golf course, and there's a lake on the golf course in the backyard. So it's like the best. I mean, it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And we went in it. His wife hates it, but but we started talking about he's very good at rehabbing things. And I said, yeah, man, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this, and have instant equity. And he's really good at it. To the point I've almost talked myself into wanting it, and I hope he doesn't buy it. But but you know, just to be able to help him out and get him looking at something else.
Yeah.
He's his business and the business he's in is good right now. And he's just trying to take advantage of the market and, you know, look at getting some instant equity in something.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, what I'm seeing in the market is, you know, I get a lot of questions about different things. Well, should I be doing this? And, you know, I'll go back to the folks that had their business going a little bit and maybe nervous about sticking their neck out. Well, maybe, and I'm not trying to be a dead horse or go back on the subject. We're talking about getting some of the government money. Maybe you get some of that government money. That way you're not sticking yourself out. You're not overextending yourself, but you're able to take that chance with a little shelter above you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
You know, I talked to some people at the beach this last couple of weeks, and some of them were talking about the stock market. It's like, why in the world would you be that deep in the stock market right now when, you know, one guy talked about, oh, I made this and this, and I was sitting there, I was listening to him, and I didn't say anything. I thought, you know, I just did a deal sitting under an umbrella that made like $7 or $8 grand.
Yeah.
And you're talking about making $1,100.
Yeah.
Out the whole time.
But
I mean,
don't you?
I'm just saying, and I don't say it, but it's so funny though, because I do deals literally sitting on the beach sometimes, and it always is somebody looks at me and says, "What are you? Did you sell a property?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, you got to ride that train, folks.
So
Get
true.
out there, make the offers, put them out there. You know, nobody's going to knock on your door and ask you to buy their property.
That's so true.
You're going to have to put some effort in and look and get those deals. You know, people say, well, mailers cost money. Good, they do. I understand that. It's a big expense in a business. If you had some of that SBA money, maybe that covers
I was just thinking the same thing.
You know, people are always asking me, Nathan, we all get these questions. It's like, well, how can I get properties? How can I get properties? At the end of the day, the mailers is the way to go. I mean, I talk to people in the industry and try to find out different ways, and that's where it's at.
It keeps coming up. And it's so interesting enough, though, Mike. It's like when in two other countries, Portugal and Uganda, there's no direct mail in Uganda. There is direct mail here, but it is not what it's like in the United States. Like if someone's getting a direct mail here, it's probably from the IRS. It's the government. Okay. So there is not a very pleasing acceptance to mail here. But in the United States, it's like so prevalent. It's like they even call it junk mail. You really don't get junk mail here. It's like if you're getting a letter, it's either from a politician or, well, that could be junk mail, but it's either from a politician or some government agency that you need to know and do. So it's really important, right? But it's true. At the end of the day, direct mail gets into, it gets into the inboxes at the end of the day. It gets into the mailbox. And it's one of the best ways to get deals. I think with the beauty of today's technology, we can do all that remotely. At the end of the day, it's all about marketing, and that was one of the biggest lessons I learned in real estate. Not in the beginning. In the beginning, I was just going out there passing out business cards. It was before the internet was what it was. But I'll never forget my old boss, David Lindahl, who said to me, and he does commercial real estate. He said, you're not in the real estate business, you're in the marketing business. And I was like, what are you talking about? And it's true at the end of the day. And the better you get at the marketing, the better your business can become for lead generation, for leads coming in, for selling properties. And yeah, man, you're a machine. I give you a lot of credit, bud. I don't give you enough credit because I'm always busting you out. You're at the beach, but I'll give you a lot of credit, man. You can sell some pads, like.
Well, and the funny thing is, I used to hate the sell part of it.
Really?
I've always loved the acquisition. I hated the sales part. I did it because I needed to eat.
Right.
But it just wasn't my. And I had a business partner a lot of times that was their specialty.
Yeah.
But then I was kind of put into place that you got to do it, Mike, or your business, you can acquire all you want, but if you don't sell anything, it doesn't work.
True.
But now I actually look forward to it. I spent a couple hours today excited because I was building ads or prepping stuff to build ads that was coming up, sending stuff out to my VAs to get the information I need back and marketing picks and all that. Yeah. And I mean, now I love that aspect of it.
That's great.
It's like I'm taking a full 180.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to start calling you the 360 coach, man. I'm going to start calling you the 360 coach because, I mean, I think of last year when we started, helping clients together, it was like, okay, Mike's going to do this, I'm going to do that, And and I really do think I really like that model, but man, you've been selling like hotcakes. Like you're selling more than IHOP.
I don't know what it is. I just don't want to change up anything. It's working. So. I tell you what a lot of it is, Nathan. And earlier this year, I changed some things around. Parted ways with a client that was a good client. It just occupied a lot of my time.
Yeah.
And it had me separated from my business more than I realized because I would never say no. If they needed something, I'm there. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
It got me back into my business and not having others do everything. Yes, I got a team that do things for me, but I run my own business now. I've taken back over control instead of it being on automatic pilot. I'm back at the captain's helm, so to speak.
Yeah. But you've also brought on assistants this year too, right? Like some new VAs. Yeah. So that's
That's I mean, I've got an assistant. When I get a property in, I got somebody that's doing the due diligence. I got somebody that I worked with that does the marketing photos exactly how I want them.
Really?
We work together a little bit. He's awesome. I don't have to do anything but say, I need marketing photos for this particular property. And he knows exactly what to get.
That's awesome.
I won't put life insurance on because he's that good. I mean, and then I've got others that do different things. I mean, where else can you? I was telling somebody while I was on vacation about, they said, well, what about your staff? I mean, you got to have overhead. I said, dude, I pay people between $3 and $6 an hour that do awesome work that no American can copy.
Right.
Lazy to. At 4 times that price, they would 5 times that price.
It's true. It's very true. It's amazing and it's a unique dynamic. And listen, I know a lot of people when they hear that, they're like, "What? You're underpaying people?" Actually, this is just economies. It's just different economies, right? So, like for example, in Uganda, $1 is going to go a lot farther than it is here in Portugal. Like every time I buy something here, I lose money. Like I don't think people really get that because it's the European currency and the European currency is stronger than the dollar. So every time I buy something, I lose 10 cents. Everything costs a little bit more in euros, right?
Right.
So, and what a lot of people don't understand when you're hiring someone in a different country, you're actually giving them more money than they would be getting in a job there. So you're actually paying them above minimum wage, which is, it's amazing. Like that's one of my favorite parts about hiring people in real estate because you're actually be able to get people more than what they could locally. You're able to help people out more. Like Mike, I have to say probably out of all these years of hiring VAs, all of them have gotten new computers for sure. That's been like a guarantee. they've all got new computers. They've all had some upgrades in life. Some of them have started families. I remember this one guy, his name is Anup. He got married. The guy was an assistant for me for 3 years. He decided to get married. Like, no joke. He went from having a girlfriend to getting married, having kids, buying a house, and buying a new car, and all taking selfies. Like, Nathan, if it wasn't for you, I would have never gotten these things. You've been the best boss. You always called me boss. You've been the best boss that has always helped me, that's always been there for me, and I appreciate, anyway, so on and so forth. And that's a really cool thing, right? And so I think a lot of people don't take advantage of that, because you're able to help a lot of people in your business, and you get to focus on what you're good at and build your own business, So that's really important.
Absolutely. Yeah, I try to do quarterly bonuses based on the business performance. And when you have a new person and you send them $50-$100 bonus, that's like big bonus to them.
Yeah.
Like, you send them $100, they're like elated.
That's so true.
Yeah, I'm just thankful that I can do that.
That's so true. Yeah, no, it is a good thing. Good stuff. All right, Mike. Well, this has been a very fun and intellectual time, but our time is coming up here.
Yeah.
And good stuff. I did want to let everybody know that in the coming weeks, this is like a surprise. See, you've been away, so I'm just now giving you updates. But in the coming weeks, these podcasts I just gave it away. These show will be on the podcast. It's like these podcasts will be on the show. Yeah, in the coming weeks. So if you guys listen to podcasts, if you don't listen to our podcast yet, you should get over there. Go to any podcast, whether it's Apple or Google Podcasts or any. We're on like 20 different channels, different podcasts from, Stitcher and all of them. Anyway, we're on everywhere. Just type in Fearless Millionaire. You can subscribe, and you'll soon be getting the great Mike himself, the legend, the myth, and what is it? The man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, something like that. We'll both be on there. We're transitioning. We're growing. Good.
It's big.
Good stuff, man. All right. Well, good time. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. If you guys have any questions about anything we said, just feel free to throw it in the comments, and we'll get back to you later on. All right. Have a good night. See you later, Mike.
See ya.